Welcome to APC Chats. This is Hector Cifuentes. I'm accompanied by Ingrid Quiros and Kevin Quintero. We have a really special guest today. He's a really good friend of mine. He is an overall artist slash creative slash entrepreneur slash a whole lot of other things. His name is Chris Omenihu.
First and foremost, I'm just a person, and then hopefully like the other modifiers of me is musician, hip-hop artist, rapper, MC, and then I'm also the CEO of my own creative agency, creative platform called Human Influence, and through that, like, we try to bridge the gap between like emerging artists, brands, and the audiences that are willing to consume those things. So I'm like this Friday we just had a house party, one of our like key like cornerstone events. Like, the thing is, people really love house parties. They would pay for a house party, which they did. They even donated to the event. And the thing about a house party that that surpasses like a venue is just it's organic. You're in a house, so someone feels comfortable in that place.
Good vibes.
And and that's what we always supply, like good artists and good vibes. And like, it's funny, my friend who owns Cheer Up Charlie, she was like, yo, my little sister was at your event. And like, she was like describing it. And I was like, I know her. She didn't know that like her older sister knew me. Her little sister was just like describing like, yo, it was so cool. And and Maggie, she was like, yeah, you're at Chris's event. And yeah, like, I keep on taking for granted like how Austin actually doesn't have good vibed events or demographic events.
There we go.
Yeah, but bro, I was gonna say like the second time I went to one of your events is when I really started to notice. I was like, whoa, it's like super diverse. Like, I was like, you'll see. I mean, at any party, because it's usually college students too that will go like from UT, Texas State. You know, it's a lot of. It's just like a melting pot of vibes, and it's just that creates. I don't know, the atmosphere is. I mean, I always have a good time. I saw. Well, I think. Well, you went to a party when in 2015.
Yeah,
right?
I went to your first house party. That's where I went with Jasmine.
You're in the highlight video.
Yeah, I'm in the highlight video.
Yeah.
I thought the party was so cool. They had like nothing but Kanye, and like it was so tight. Like,
And that was our first attempt, and we knew what we were going for. It was weird. Like, by the time I started performing, I was like, first and foremost, y'all are in my backyard. Like, I practice this shit all the time. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was second nature. And like on Friday when this is our third house party, it was like coming into it, I was like trying to preserve my voice because like the whole day I was like, because like the day before I was like trying to record and I was pushing my voice, I was straining it, and I was like so worried. And by the time it started, it's like, yo, this is second nature. And like putting on and trying to be a good host is second nature. Like, my friends that meet me that are from other places, they're like, yo, you Texas people are really nice. Y'all are like too hospitable.
And where are you from?
I'm from Dallas. Triple D, 3D, specifically Cedar Hill, Texas. Shout out to Cedar Hill, home of just football players.
And how was your childhood there?
Like, it was, you know, I blame my childhood for like everything I'm interested in, because being from where I'm from, especially being black, it's like predominantly black and Hispanic now. At first it wasn't.
Yeah.
The totem pole started at athletes, thugs. Like, if you're a thug athlete, you got all the girls.
Yeah.
So it was athlete, thug.
You gotta have the dickies though. The crease.
Dog, the starch to the point. Like,
Starch.
if you dropped it on the floor, it'll break.
Yeah.
Like, and just being the smart, or like, I guess, nerdy African kid, there's a distinction between, especially growing up, there's a distinction you discover between being African, like a first generation, and being black people whose families been here since colonial years. There's a distinction culturally, and like as an African kid, you get like crucified for it. It's weird.
Really?
It's weird. Like, so growing up, like taking shit from like the black people about being African, taking shit from like non-black people for just being black, and then taking shit just from like the school hierarchy for not being an athlete
Yeah.
of a sport that they care about. I played soccer, but it's like, oh, you like you're with the white people because you play soccer. I'm like, no. I'm African. I like soccer. So it's just like all these things, and you realize literally by 6th grade, you realize you're on the outskirts, and you're like, oh shit, I'm not gonna enjoy anything if I go through the motions of what people want from me, because people don't really want anything from me.
You know the cool thing about that is that, like, as thanks to the internet, I think so. People like you and I feel like I kind of fit in the same boat, because I feel like I wasn't too like Earl Sweatshirt. He was like, I'm not black enough for the black kids. I'm not white enough for the white kids.
You know, he's half
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like the people that felt the same multiculturally, they didn't fit in certain crowds, and then that's where that whole just new wave of just people started, like in 2011, 2010.
Yeah, like,
you know,
I wish I was a fucking teenager now, because the amount of access to and proof of people having success because the internet is more prevalent than ever. Like, you just think about it. Like, I follow this guy named Golden Polaroid. I don't even know his real name. He's a photographer, and his stuff is so fire. He just he's like first year in college, and it's like, yo, I wasn't following photographers and videographers as a senior in high school. I was following sports, Kanye. That's all I was doing. But like the access that these kids have to who does what they want to be doing on the highest level is prevalent, and like one click away, they get to study these people. Like Lil Yachty, like before, like he like really made his imprint on like teen culture. Is like he was pinpointing who was like the influencers, who was the social media people, and he got them in his videos. One Night blew up because of like the streams of videos that were using the song, and reenacting the lyrics, and people were like, oh, what is this song? Yeah. And it blew up. And then he was a part of season 3 with whenever Kanye previewed Pablo, blew up. So it's like
he got those what's that guy's name? He's that comedian guy on Twitter.
I saw a picture.
He's the guy that goes like this and he just disappears.
Oh, Niles.
Yeah, he got his whole
crew in his video, and it's like, just like we saw with Bad and Bougie, whenever Childish Gambino used the Golden Globes platform to talk about it, things blow up once they start trending. Bad and Bougie was already the second or third song in the country, but when Childish Gambino used that platform and that access to white people, it went to number 1. And like now Migos are like on like
the Beatles.
Yeah,
they are the Beatles,
the Black Beatles.
Yeah, so stuff like that, like trending and like overnight success was hard without TV.
I mean, that's what you use too. I mean, you use social media to just, I mean, to promote your part. I mean, like, I feel like many people try to like promote a party with social media, but not many people can even get.
How was your first party?
Like the very first. So okay, let me preface. In college, I used to do this thing called Waterford Presents. I forget about this all the time, but that was like the backbone of like my event planning. Basically, once again in college, it was the same situation. I'm not an athlete, so if I wasn't 21, I couldn't just walk into bars. I was once again just the black kid at UT.
You weren't in a frat.
I wasn't in a frat. I wasn't in a black frat, but specifically a white frat. I wasn't in those. I knew people, but you walk up to the door and they're like, "Oh,
who do you know here, bro?"
I know Jordan Bradley, and they'll be like, call Jordan Bradley. I'm like, I'm texting him right now. Whoa, we'll just wait for him to come. And it's like, I'm on the verge of being a grown man. I'm not begging you just to walk in a room full of alcohol and girls who didn't come here for me, and alcohol I don't drink. So it's just like, why am I forcing this? So I lived in an apartment complex that had a big courtyard. It was like 3 stories, and it was like built like a prison. And I moved over there because of one time they were known for having Halloween parties. And me as a freshman, I go there on accident, and it was like a rager. I made out with the girl. I was like, oh. and I was like, yo, like this place is dope. And then the following semester, we found out the rent was cheap, and we moved there. And then I was like, yo, let's do a Halloween party. And we did that. It got canceled. But we started throwing parties there, and like our first party, like we made like $2,000. It was like crazy because the market that we were trying to find was kids who can't go downtown and kids who don't go to frats. Basically, the demographic that I fit right into. Mm-hmm. And then they came for the good times, and that's all it was. And then like eventually that like fell apart because of like landlord management and just like people I couldn't trust. Who would know it would get that deep? But like that became the backbone of the event side of Human Influence. Was all learned through like the trials and errors of Waterford Presents. It's weird to even refer to that, but like the house party, which was done at my house in 2015, it was like, yo, we're gonna, like, at first I was just promoting a vintage clothes store, which Human Influence was at initially, but I always had intentions to build something that other people can use. And then when we had that first event, it was like, damn, people first and foremost enjoyed each other, enjoyed the music, and like enjoyed my music, and enjoyed all the artists that were involved. And I'm like, if I was just a rapper, there would be no reason for me to work with some of these artists that I know, because it's like, yo, do you make beats? You don't make beats. And then, do you shoot music videos? Like, outside of those two things, like, rappers don't have a lot of crossover. So, like, since building Human Influence, there's reasons to collaborate with so many other people, and it gives other people to finally do what they want to be doing on a bigger platform than just their own like social media page. And
you'll be surprised, I mean, how much people really just want to collaborate with each other, you know?
Facts.
Yeah, like people are more than down. Like everyone's human just like you know, like, and people, they see someone's social media or whatever, they think they're somebody else, but in reality, they're nice.
Yeah, they're just humans.
Everyone's nice, you know? If you're nice to them.
Not everybody, but yeah.
Where does your inspiration come from?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know, I think most importantly, I'm inspired by jealousy.
Really?
Like
good answer. Good honest
every
answer.
South by.
Every stock. Okay, let's even talk about South by. Like,
jealous.
My first South by experience was like me going to where? Okay, I saw ASAP Rocky and ASAP Mob perform. It was like their third show ever at Fair Market, right?
What year was that? 2014?
It was 2012.
Oh, when they dropped the tape. Well, the first one, I guess, when ASAP Ferg started, like, you know.
Yeah. So like right when ASAP Rocky started blowing up, when he was still dating Iggy.
Oh.
Like 2012.
Yeah.
I was at that show. It was wild. And I was just like, that was the last day of South by. That was the Saturday I came back from spring break. And then following year, I was I met Kendrick the following year, and like once again it was at Fair Market, Spotify House, and I remember just like trying to like be places I wasn't supposed to be, and seeing other people just walk. Like, it was Kendrick, and I was like, yo, this is tight. But like at the end of the day, no one knew me. I remember I still have that picture. I had like a Kid Robot chain that I made.
Hey, Kid Robot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kid Robot wherever you are. Japan? They went back to Japan?
Well, they were Dallas, Japan, and where else?
I don't know. Probably
LA.
I don't know.
Trump.
But like even South by, I was seeing a lot of artists who maybe like I didn't even really think their music was that tight, but they were performing. And like eventually I started working during South by, like doing gigs. And most importantly, I remember walking and meeting people, and they're like, oh, okay, like you're in a Samsung shirt. Like, who are you? And 2 years ago, I was working at Fader for Vitamin Water, and like I was chopping out with some people, but like I remember getting curved by a lot of people. I remember even seeing Zoe Kravitz. I didn't even know who she was.
Oh wow.
And like I was like, excuse me, I need to put these vitamin waters in this bin. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, I felt like Aladdin, and she was like Princess Jasmine. But it was like one of these things like, okay, I'm invisible to these people. Not to say that these people matter like more than like my friends and family, but it doesn't feel good to be walked past when you think you're somebody. But
where does the jealousy come in?
Oh, it's just like that when you're seeing other people interact with like people that I look up to,
yeah,
on a first name basis, you're like, man, him. Like you ever see that video on Twitter, that dude whack, his shoes whack? You never seen that video?
No. Oh yeah, but
It's like it's one of these videos where like a guy's looking up at the camera, like as in like the girl's in the second floor, and the guy's like confessing all these things that the other dude sucks. And that's how I used to feel throughout school. I'm like, wait, this
Like,
is
why him?
yeah, this is the
Why
most
her?
popular dude. Are you serious? And that's how I was feeling like with like seeing rappers. Like,
He ain't dirty, he ain't ghetto, and he definitely ain't no kid. His hair, whack. His gear, whack. His jewelry, whack. His footsteps, whack. The way that he talks, whack. The way that he doesn't even like to smile, whack. Me, I'm tight as fuck.
That's how I feel about fraternities. Like,
yeah,
that's just
that's how I feel. And
so is that wanting of just being recognized, being acknowledged as just a human? Like why not me too?
I would say, and knowing that no one has one up on you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big Dragon Ball Super fan, and like I feel like Vegeta, like where he's always looking at Goku like, okay, you just did that. Like, what the heck? I need to go back to the dojo and get my 1,000 hours in. And like more than ever, like the South by, even though I'm not all the way there, it's like, okay, the improvements from riding my bike and trying to sneak into places to walking into things and performing and hosting events, that's there. I need to cherish that. But it's like, bro, like there's people my age who just won Grammys. And not to say that's my path right now. It's not. I went to school.
What'd you study?
Where'd you go to school at?
I went to UT. Shout out.
Woo!
Shout out Longhorns, everybody. At first I was studying biochemistry. I don't even know why. I blame my mom.
Biochem.
I started off with math too.
And then I switched to econ just to get out.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that whole process was like, wait, my degree doesn't matter. It's all about my skills. And when I was like 2 years in with the biochemistry path, I was like, what skills do I have? Like pipetting and like pouring liquids into beakers and like putting, like, it just, I wasn't feeling like I was learning anything. Even with econ, like I wasn't learning any hard skills that I could step out of class with and like change something. It hasn't been until now where I'm like, yo, I have mad skills. Whether it's like me being a rapper or a songwriter, that's skills in song arranging, or hosting events, or curating something, or being like, oh, this is good, this is bad, this is what we need to do. Like problem solving. Like I didn't feel like school was teaching me that. And then like now more than ever, I'm like, okay, I can help anything I put my hands on. And that I didn't obtain that until post school, and like looking at other people and being like, man, like that's tight, but you're missing this. Like if you ever watched First Take, on ESPN with Stephen A. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, I just want to like jump inside the screen. And just,
It's so annoying because when they're arguing,
talking about the Cowboys.
Stephen A. is always like, he's always like waiting, and then he always like, you missed this important point. So he's like, oh, like you missed one key feature. Like he always says that, and that's how I feel sometimes. It's like, yo, like, oh, that's cool, but y'all missed this whole side, this whole other perspective, and I just think about like, yeah, like when I see Kanye or Pharrell or Chance, or I see all these amazing artists doing their thing, and I'm like, okay, I could either get jaded and like frozen by like, man, like they already done like everything I wanted to do, or realize they haven't done something that the world needs, and I feel like I'm like on the verge of like adding a new narrative for people who feel left out, like I've been all my life.
Have you ever wanted to stop? Like, have you ever felt like I need to quit? I can't do this anymore.
You know, once again, that's a good question. Of course, you have days you're like, man, no one cares.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, what always brings me back to like my path or journey is the fact that if I don't make the music, I'm gonna be listening to someone else's music. If I don't host the party or the event or the art show, I'm gonna be going to someone else's event, concert, art show, and I'm always gonna be like this is
I could do better.
I could do better.
Yeah.
So instead of always saying that, just do
Do
it.
something about it.
Just do it.
It comes down to that one quote. It's like, if not us, who?
Yeah.
If not now, when?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, like a lot of people love also like, I'm not saying that you were hating, but a lot of people like just hate or like just, and they never do anything about it. Like I'll respect you if you like if I have a hater or whatever, like hey, do something about it. You know, make sure you're better than me or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so like I feel like having all these goals and ambitions are just like thoughts, and thoughts are worth nothing really unless you put action into them.
If
Like you're making it happen, bro. Like you're making shows happen. You're throwing parties. All these photo shoots.
But
you're
everything
doing,
that you do, I feel, and I just met you, it's like bringing people together
Facts.
for a purpose, you know, like connecting people. You're a connector.
Yeah.
You're
These,
liaison to
the people that
everything.
are forgotten.
Yeah,
Which is cool. You know, those
exactly.
people are, they all
Those
have skills. They all have.
it's not necessarily people that are forgotten, but it's like the people that aren't in. Like I'm not supposed to just like 6th Street.
Yes.
You know,
Exactly.
I mean, I still go, but I just don't like because I'm around people that unless I'm with my friends, but I'm going in a place paying for expensive drinks to be around people that I don't fuck with,
that don't talk to you, that don't look at you, and it's like, wait, why am I what am I chasing?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. I think about people who are even booming on the gram, like,
And then what?
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
they have like 7,000 followers or 6,000 or 8,000, but those people are spread across the planet.
Yeah.
Your followers can't save you when you're in a room full of people you don't know. So I even meet these people and they're like, yo, I'm looking for friends. I'm like, wait, don't you have a bunch of friends on the internet? No, that's not real. So it's like, I'm even trying to like grab people who have like mad talents and like put them in the room with more people to create with. And then like at the end of the day, like human influence, the acronym is HIGH.
Yeah.
So it starts with like a greeting. Like most of the stuff that's came to me has happened because I met someone in most likely a party setting or a concert setting. I went to Chicago last week because like my homies who I met during South by at once again Fair Market.
Yeah.
Fair Market is like my place.
East Side.
Hype Hotel, man.
Hype Hotel.
R.I.P.
They're not doing it this year.
It was a fleshlight party.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a flashlight party.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday we walked
It
by
was
there.
bunk.
That's what it is now. It's
Damn.
It's not Hype Hotel though. It's
Were they
something
giving
else.
out free flashlights?
I don't know.
No.
I think they were like had a pinata and like, full of them. And you just had to like hit it, and like they all come out of the pinata.
Whatever.
No?
He's joking.
No. But it was sponsored by them.
We
but
stopped by for a second.
Yeah.
It was whack.
We
It was
just
just
saw
bougie
it.
people drinking,
Then we just
and you
dipped.
gotta pay for your drinks.
What? What?
no.
Yeah, South by is weird. Like it's
Nah, there's a lot of open bars though.
There is.
All day, every day.
Oh, tell me like your best like South by experience. Like I know you mentioned like Kendrick Lamar, but like what else? Like
Ooh. You. Let's see. Damn. I'm trying to think. Like what was? I think one of the most important. Ooh, I think. So I saw Kanye and Jay-Z perform.
oh,
The Samsung?
Yeah, at the Samsung
You're
event.
lucky.
And I couldn't even like fully enjoy it because the job I was doing, I was working with Samsung, and we were walking for 12 hours, like
Oh my
exchanging
God.
people's batteries.
Yeah.
12 hours, and then after the shift, we stood in line for 2 hours, and like
Stood in line to get in?
yes,
Oh my God.
and then like Kanye and Jay-Z didn't perform till like 12, so my back was hurting. I was like niggas in Paris. I was like, like I was feeling pregnant. My back was hella arched.
Yeah.
That was dope. That was one of those moments. I was like,
And what about it made it dope? Like the fact that you got access to it, the fact that you and like what was it?
Kanye.
well,
Jay-Z.
well, like the fact that something like that you couldn't obtain for free
Yeah.
anywhere else in any other capsule, like no matter like how you like turn the Rubik's Cube, going to that for free was like, of course, the exchange of time, but like what else was I gonna be doing? So like I wasn't worried about that, and it was just like, yo, like these are my heroes. These two are the pinnacle of like music that I consume, and it was like, damn, I saw this on the house. And I think one of the biggest moments for South by for me was going to, there was a Titanfall event when Titanfall first came out, the Xbox game. And it was Childish Gambino who performed there, and that was the first time I saw Gambino. I honestly did not like him up until that point because the internet just dropped. But like I met one of my best friends there, and when he was rapping and he looked at me, he started making fun of me. I was like, hell nah. And I started going in on him, and then we became friends. And then I met this girl there that I was talking to for a minute. I was like, yo, like South by's tight. But like I would say now, it's like I can't say any of those moments are more important than what I'm doing this year. First time in my life, I'm like doing something during South by and like performing during South by. Of course, none of it being official and none of it being like anything that I'm not involved in.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the most part, like things just don't land in my lap. And I feel like that's how I always felt. Like people don't know about me unless I know about them type.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how like the internet works really, because like I met this girl in Chicago who she has like 120,000 followers on Instagram. I'm like, how? Like, did you follow 100,000? Like,
Yeah.
I would have to follow 120,000 people for.
Same here.
Like, I don't get how it starts to aggregate and like turns into like a snowball. But so that's how I always felt, and like more than ever, like even this Friday when I performed in front of a house packed of people, making them say words that I wrote. That's amazing. Like me seeing my favorite artist is cool, but me trying to be someone else's favorite artist is cooler. Me wearing my own shirt right now. These like my favorite moments of South by now, because it's like going from kind of like the bench to the game. Like I'm finally up at bat.
Yeah.
Usually I'm working during South by because there's a lot of money to be made, but I'm Airbnb in my room. And it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about money. Of course I can make more, but should I make money or make opportunities that could lead to money? And that's what it's been.
If you could give one piece of advice or several pieces of advice, whatever you want to say, to brands, because I mean, it seems like you've worked with several brands here in South by. What would it be? Like, especially integrating them with music. Like, what piece of advice?
I feel like, and even talking about that, I feel like music sells products.
Music is universal.
Yeah. And like music has always pushed some type of furniture, like whether it was like 12 inches, CDs, tapes, products like Beats. Why do we like Beats headphones? Because
Yeah.
like we constantly see them in music videos. If you check like the trends of alcohol, and like you should see where that alcohol is in music right now. Hennessy is at its peak right now.
Yep.
Back then it used to be Patron, Grey
Ciroc
Goose,
Boys.
Ciroc Boys. Now it's Hennessy because the internet started making videos about it,
That's right.
and now it's back in the lyrics. So it's like with brands, especially during South by, you want to connect your brand with emerging artists, people who have not only followings but a quality audience.
And a story.
Yeah, and a narrative.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things for me is like and connecting your brand with people with like not just inanimate ideas but with people and faces. Like Jan Sports having an event with Little Yachty at Cheer Up Charlie's this
What,
week.
Jansport? The
Yeah.
backpacks?
Yeah. It's like
Coming back.
Yeah.
There you go.
like they sponsor South by, but it's like you can sponsor and throw your money into something, but until someone has something to grab on, it doesn't matter.
What would be your ideal? Like if you can tell like Samsung or any brand, make this ideal event happen, like what would you want to see?
Right now, in this moment, I'm planning a basketball tournament / concert for like the summer, and like that's something that I want to bring to life, like to like a high level, and stuff like that. I think about cities need like burst of energy. Like Austin is dope, but like the city only really gets lit for South by and ACL.
That's
In a
true.
little bit, we're gonna talk about ACL. You have a story to tell.
Yeah,
pretty good.
that's it.
Oh, yeah, right.
And it's like the city and the people deserve more than that. And I just think about like there's always opportunities and spaces to connect regular everyday people, artists, and companies. The companies can have access to the audience. The companies can pay the artists, and the artists can share what they do. And I feel like like the basketball tournament, like 3-on-3 / music concert / whatever can happen and stuff like that. It's like I've been trying to like get like some of these ideas off the ground. I feel like I get trapped in like a box full of ideas, good ideas that can't come to life with only me. Because at the end of the day, like I'm not a carpenter. I can't chalk up like a million basketball courts on my own. So it takes help and money and finances. So I think about stuff like that. And like, yeah, but when I think about one big idea, I think about that basketball tournament. That could be so tight. But anyways, even when I talk about like South by and ACL being the peak seasons of Austin, and it's also like thinking about who's it a peak season for. Predominantly white people. And like, and no shade, it's like, it's whoever can afford it.
Yeah.
And I just think about ACL's like the wristband's like $300. And what if I actually like really like these artists and I can't afford to spend half of my rent on a wristband? What happens? Nothing. You don't do anything. You got to watch it through people's Snapchats.
Yeah.
FOMO, and FOMO's not even a real thing. Like,
to me, it is, man.
Yeah.
For the most part, like I was, and to go back to ACL, but I was at this Rev Run event yesterday, and it was just like, it was like lit, like as lit as like, once again, like corporate white people can get. Free drinks, confetti, a DJ playing
Confetti.
a DJ playing it was a prominent DJ, I don't even know his name, some young dude, and like Rev Run like spinning some ad libs over some like beats. I'm like, yo, this is like cool, but it's not cool at the same time. Like I was just sipping on a topo and be like, okay, this is cool. No one wants to talk to me.
What's next?
What's next? And that's how I feel like when people finally get to those places, just like Alice in Wonderland. Once you finally make it to the Wizard, You're like, oh,
Yeah,
you're,
right. This is it.
you're just an old white dude in a curtain with a projector.
Oh, the Wizard of Oz.
The
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz.
So and
That's a good comparison.
and like and when you realize when you walk into it, you're like, oh, like this is actually wag.
But that's what a lot of people say. Like they're like, if you're not happy in the current situation you are right now, or with a certain amount of like, I guess, money you might have, once you get it all, it's not gonna change.
No.
Like the whole To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
That whole album, it speaks about him, Kendrick, getting this fame and this money, but he's still suicidal.
Yeah,
he still
yeah.
doesn't. He's not happy. You
Yeah.
know. So it's just, I guess, just perspective. You know,
Yeah.
perspective
Like
and-
big time. And like of course you just always want to see the other side. And like going back to ACL,
Tell
like
us your story.
Okay, so
Tell us your story.
ACL 2016, it was cool. You know,
It was awesome.
I guess my favorite artist. Well, I mean, not my favorite, but like I guess hip hop acts.
Yeah.
You know, it's Top Dog. You know, it's Absol. You know, J Rock, Isaiah. But the main guys, you know, Schoolboy Q and Kendrick Lamar, and they performed at ACL on the big stage. What was it? The Samsung stage?
It was.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a Samsung
That's the
stage.
main one.
But yeah, I saw them weekend one. It was cool. And then that's you went to weekend two, right?
I went weekend 2 and
Yeah.
I loved Radiohead. Radiohead was
And
so
you
hard.
went to weekend one or 2?
Mm-hmm. One.
Really? Oh, so you were there? Oh,
Yeah.
so yeah, like wait, you had a ticket? Well, tell your story because it's kind of interesting. I was
No.
mad.
No,
What
I
happened?
was mad. I was
Come on.
jealous.
jealous. So
I was real
it
jealous.
should inspire you. So
Ay.
Watch out.
Oh, salty.
Watch out.
no, so
No,
okay.
same here.
So like when I first got to Austin, I didn't even know what ACL was. So like the second year and the first year Kanye was there, he was doing my
2014 was that 2014?
No.
2011.
2011.
2011.
He was doing my Dark Twisted Fantasy stuff and like Cruel Winter shit, Cruel Summer. But so like after that ACL, I started trying to jump the fence and like
It's hard, bro.
yeah,
I tried.
I did it 2 years straight. After that first
By
after
jump the fence, y'all mean literally jump
Sneak
the
in,
fence.
And there's
Yeah.
2 fences.
Okay,
Jump into
just
the
so
back.
everybody knows.
Jump some porta potties and boom, you're there.
you're in it.
Damn.
So this ACL, I was like, okay, I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna look the part, and I parked my bike. I'm like, okay, like, of
Park
course
the bike.
I could try to like find someone do the pass back. I was like, man, if I get in, I get in. So basically, I went to the main entrance and tried to like backpedal through like the exit. And like it didn't work. So someone's like, "Sir, blah blah blah," and then I went around to the other exit, on the other side where like a lot of the staff was moving in and out.
Yeah.
Pulled out my phone. And I was just like, "Okay," and just walked in.
What?
Yeah,
And ACL is
Like
super
nothing?
expensive. I mean,
yeah,
it's
just
like $300.
You just like
$350.
normal person walking in, looking at their phone, like nothing.
facts.
Wow.
I was looking down, walked in, and I was like in the artist village. Like at the time, it was night, so it was like no one was there, but it was like there's free stuff, but like nothing crazy. And I was like, oh snap, what's Kendrick performing? I was like, oh shit, let me try to get to that stage. And we jump on a shuttle. I jump on a shuttle
You get shuttled in.
to take me to like the stage where Kendrick
no
was.
wristband, no
No,
nothing.
no wristband, no nothing. And I would go to the stage, and they're like, "You can't come in from over here." And like, I was with these white folks, and like, it's funny as we were walking up the stairs.
Did they ever ask you who are you?
No, like, so the people who were trying to finesse backstage, they were working the event, but like, yeah, when you rule of thumb, once you pass the threshold, everyone thinks you're supposed to be there.
Mhm.
Because it's like, how did you get there if you're not supposed to be there?
Yeah, gotcha.
So like, no one was asking questions, but someone saw me and they were like, this like black security guard's like, you ain't supposed to be here. I was like, no, you're not supposed to be here. And it's one of these things. It's like this weird mentality. Like, wait, you look like me. How you gonna be back here? So that was happening to me.
Oh wow.
Big time. like by the black security
You
guards.
weren't supposed to be there.
They were doing their job well,
Yeah,
but they weren't pressing the other folks.
Yeah.
So like I get rejected. I'm walking around the perimeter of the stage, and Kendrick's about to perform. And then I walk into this lounge. It was like Deep Eddies, or no, it was Tito's. And like I run into some people. There's like backstage. I didn't even know there was like backstage free alcohol lounges at ACL. I was there. I was drinking Topo back to back. And then I have 2 Topos in my hand, and I walk out. I'm into the grass, like the whole like area where everyone's at. I'm like, oh, this was my goal. Like my goal was just to get into ACL, but I got a hint of the other side, and I was walking to Kendrick. And like he started performing, I was like, "This is cool," but I'm a mile away from the stage. I'm not trying to live this life no more. I'd rather go home than be in a pile full of people in jerseys and flags. Mm-hmm. So I went back to the exit where I walked out. I was like, "Yo, I was just in here, fam." It was like, "Where's your wristband?" I'm like, "I ain't got one, but why would I have 2 Topos in my hand?" I just came out of here. And like they let me in, and then I went back in, and then I jumped back on the shuttle, and it took me back around, and then I walked into just this random, like through this random entrance, and it was the Samsung lounge, and like these people on the other side of the stage, they were like in a line trying to get backstage to the Kendrick show, but they couldn't. They were the closest people to the stage, and they couldn't see him. I'm like, this is dumb as fuck. Like, being backstage is not that tight if it's taking me away from the goal. The goal is not to be backstage. The goal is to see Kendrick from the best vantage point for me. So I was like, man, I was talking to this guy. He was like, I want you to stand in line with us. I was like, no. And then I walk around, and there's this rail. And I just moved the rail. I walk up the stairs, and I'm literally backstage, like as in like the audio engineer's right there.
Listen, just move the rail.
Move the rail.
That's life right
That's
there.
life.
That really is.
No,
life.
no one's asking you questions. You're supposed to
Just
be
do
there.
it.
And then I was about to go up these stairs immediately in front of me. After I walked upstairs, there's another set of stairs, and this lady didn't let me in. And I was like, okay, it's whatever. And then I walk around. I start talking to this black dude, and then he walks up the stairs. I'm walking in behind him. And, like, I walk upstairs. There's Schoolboy Q, his bodyguard, his DJ, his homies on his album. His homeboys. Wow. And, like, some white girls. And, like, we're all just up there. Of course, the Schoolboy Q's people really didn't fuck with me because they're like, who's this random black dude? But the girls thought I was a part of it. And I was, like, watching Kendrick from, like literally right there. I was like, yo, of course this is cool, but I'd rather be on stage.
So you walk on stage?
No, I didn't walk on stage.
You move the rail, go walk on stage?
No, but
You might as well have.
I could have walked on stage.
Yeah.
But it was one of those moments. It's like, yo, I achieved my goal of entering ACO, and then my goal got like intensified when I realized, wait, there's more to be got. And then that's why whenever I stepped into the grass, into like the refugee pit, which ACL is, I felt inadequate again. But 2 hours before, I just wanted to get into ACL. But then like my goal compounded, and I was like, no, I'm gonna meet Kendrick again. And like after the show, he immediately walks out. I'm like, oh, what's up, Kendrick? He's like, okay. He's like, oh, what's up? Then he jumps into his excursion with his wife, and he dips out. And it was just like, yo, like, I made this happen for myself. Of course, like on the grand scheme of things, all I did was walk into a festival for free. And I got somebody's number. The guy that walked up the stairs.
Who was he?
He's he's a part of a publishing company,
Cool.
that Kendrick goes through, and like Kendrick has talked about this dude being like one of the reasons why he made All Right, because like Kendrick was sitting on All Right for a while, and like the guy's name is Sam. He was like, yo, when you gonna finish that track? So it's like I met someone important. Hopefully he hasn't changed his number. I need to text him. But it was like one of those situations like, yo, like at least I looked the part.
Yeah.
At least I looked the part. Now I just need to create the content and increase my level of exposure to earn the real role. I looked the part, and that was one of those moments like, oh, like, man, Schoolboy, like he just a human.
Yeah.
He's just a human.
So what is your goal right now? You want to be like a rapper? Like that's ultimately
like,
what you want to do?
And that's who I am. I am a musician.
Mm-hmm.
With one song out, All Vibes Matter. Shout out.
Vibes, man.
Plug.
I've created at least a baby level of concern that people have for me, and that I've learned that through human influence, pushing that, learning how to brand, learning how like, okay, this is acceptable, this isn't. This is how you do a press release, blah blah blah. So like the goal is, like even by this summer is to be on the to be touring, to be not even like a real like tour, but like, yo, we're gonna go from this city, perform here, make money, sell shirts, go to the next city, perform, connect with people, sell clothes.
That's how like everyone like that's relevant, like that's how Top Dog did. That's how Schoolboy and Kendrick they had a van and they traveled city to city and had little shows, sold merch. And then look at where they're at right now.
Yeah.
You know, from like 2009. Well, I saw them in 2010, and it was a tiny little show in Dallas at the Arnetic.
And Schoolboy looked
Is it
dirty.
No.
Schoolboy looked dirty, bro.
Schoolboy
He was
Q
dirty
like
back then.
he was like a straight up he looked homeless, you know.
Yeah.
And like he was smoking, and like he like ashed. He hit me with the blunt on my eyebrow, and I was on stage with him while I was like recording. And he just hit my eyebrow.
It was him and Kendrick.
And I was backstage with Kendrick just hanging out. He was just really cool people, you know. And then when Kendrick was performing, I was like right behind him with the camera like this.
You still have that footage?
No, we
Bro.
lost it. We left down the school camera. It was a school's camera.
It
We
was
were
a
just, like,
school, and
filming
that's
it.
why we were able to get on stage because the school had like some cool cameras.
Shout out Duncanville.
Yeah, so like I found out about Kendrick a week before. He had that song. He's like, my BMW is my what is it called? My BMW is my best. I don't even know, but Detox.
Okay.
Look out for Detox.
Okay,
That song,
yeah.
that was like my favorite song at the time.
That's
you know?
funny. Look out for Detox.
But yeah, they had a show with Sore Losers. You know, Brandon Blue.
Yeah.
And Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I even think was it Blue and Brown that closed the show too?
Yeah, we went to go see them.
Yeah,
And,
we
like,
went to see
Schoolboy
them.
Q and Kendrick Lamar opened up for them, and they were nothing. You know, like
What?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that there were nothing, but he had like Vanity Slave. What else? Jordan or something like that. Like it was that first album.
Are you talking about Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Too much for these bitches.
Yeah.
and
Too much for these hoes.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. That was during OD era.
Yeah, it was like 2010. But man, like it's so cool that happened. You know,
Yeah,
like
and,
with now, he's probably the best. In my opinion,
No, he
he's the
is.
best ever. But I feel like I needed a college education to understand.
I still don't understand them.
Bro, it's so like these walls. Bro, every track on the Temple Butterfly.
yeah.
Even I go back to Good Kid, Mad City, and now I really understand some of the songs. You know, and it's mind blowing.
Yeah,
you know?
and like, so the thing with the internet, this now, like people want to skip steps.
But it's not longevity that's gonna happen.
Yeah, like
you'll get it, but is it gonna last you? Is it gonna build a career for you?
exactly. Like people don't want to do the groundwork. Like after I performed, I immediately was like, "Yo, I have T-shirts for sale." I stood by my own merch table selling shirts, and it's like, and it was a mentality switch that happened to me on Friday. It was like, I was at this event and someone was like, "Yo, like," I was telling them like when I came back from Chicago, I thought like the main takeaway from it was like, okay, I need to find a manager who can pump money into me because I need to pay for these beats and studio time and mixing and mastering, or I need to find like a sponsor. And the guy was telling me, I was like, yo, like, fuck all that. You need to just locate your consumers, talk to them. I shot that music video because people donated $600 to me and I went to LA. So it's like, now I have a product to sell. I can sell T-shirts. Or or like once again I can go Kickstarter again. But it's like, yo, like if you really need money, go outside, open up shop, use the music to sell the product, then be about your business and keep it going. So it was like one of those, like Friday was like proof, like, yo, this is no different from what Chance is doing. Chance has music.
You gotta know, Chance put in like what? He's been doing this for what?
Longer than me.
8 years?
Yeah. But it's make the music, sell a ticket, sell a shirt, make the music. It
make the moves, man.
Make the
and
moves.
You're doing that.
And I'm trying, and it's like, I'm trying not to waste any more days because, yeah, I'm 24. Not to say that's old. Like Jay-Z, Kanye dropped their first album at 26, 27. Of course, like we think in the digital age it's all about younger and whatever, but you know the NBA is full of young kids, like one and dones. But who's the best in the league right now? A 33-year-old LeBron, 32-year-old, and a Steph Curry who took him 6-7 years to go from someone that we don't think can run point guard in the NBA to one of the top 5 point guards in the NBA. I don't think he's the best at point guard in the NBA, but it just keeps on going to show. It's like
it's another podcast right there.
Yeah, it goes to show experience outweighs all that other shit. Anderson .Paak last year, his first real South by, like 13 shows. He was nominated for Best New Artist of the Year in the Grammys at 31. So it's like, when I was talking about getting jealous about other people's journeys and all that, at the same time, that's cool. But like that other person isn't you. I just kind of described like my background. I don't know any artist with the same background as me. I don't know any other person with the exact same background as me. So like my time will come, your time will come, whoever's listening, your time will come. It's all about, have you prepared to take those opportunities?
And also starting.
Yeah,
not
starting.
being afraid.
Don't be
Not
afraid
being
to
afraid
start.
to
Not
making
being afraid.
yourself look like people don't do things because they think people are gonna think they're stupid or they don't want to.
thirsty.
And
They don't
even
wanna
if you
look
look
like a
at
fool.
like content that goes viral, it doesn't go viral because there's a brand behind it. It goes viral because there's a human aspect behind
Facts.
it.
And
No
every-
matter if it's like a selfie video or if it's a video shot by another person, like a grandma that can't even hold the video. If it goes viral, it's like a significance why it does. It's not a planned thing.
Yeah.
It's like just go with the flow and do something real.
And we are all. I mean, I feel like every human being has the ability to make something happen. It might be music, it might be cooking, it might be engineering, it might be whatever,
It might be coding. Like
whatever.
Yeah.
You know. But it's just like some people just don't realize it, that they have so much power. We
Yeah.
have so much power. We just need to love ourselves and really know that we can do it.
And I wanna take time to kind of say, I mean, I personally had never met you before, but something that I picked on to every single story that you've said is that the key word for you is unstoppable. Like at every point in your journey, you've been hungry. And hunger and hunger and hunger has motivated you. You're like, this is not enough. I could do more. I can do more. And you see it. And your goal gets bigger and bigger, which I think that's something for everybody to think about. It's like your key takeaway is that once you're submerged in something that you love to do, you're going to be hungry always.
Yeah, and
Stay hungry.
whether I have like a tapeworm in my stomach,
Yeah.
I don't know. And like even that hunger like makes like dilutes the reality of some of my achievements. Like I feel like, oh, like I was supposed to do that. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't get to appreciate it because I'm always looking at the next one.
Thing. Yeah.
But it's like, yo, like I do feel like once again, like if I don't make music, if I don't rock the show, someone else will.
Somebody else will. And if you don't do it, like yesterday, Lonnie, he was saying, if you don't do it, if you don't step up to the plate and make moves happen, make things happen, and you waste your opportunity, nobody's gonna care.
No one's gonna care.
No one's gonna care.
You know,
No.
you know how you said like sometimes you feel like nobody cares.
Yeah.
Bro, people care.
People
If
care.
you're out there doing it, people care because they're not doing it.
Yes.
They're watching now. They're just watching. They're
People
like,
care,
oh,
but
wow.
if you don't take advantage of your opportunity and you just don't do anything with it,
Other people, someone else is gonna step up to the plate, knock the long ball.
and then no one's gonna care about if you made it or not.
Yeah.
Can you define opportunity?
Making it happen and appreciating. I feel like opportunity. Damn, that's a hard question.
Yeah,
bro,
it's
man.
luck.
Give me these hard
It's,
questions.
it's luck times preparedness. So you gotta be a little lucky, but you gotta be prepared to take on the opportunity.
But I think
Facts.
it's also like
That's all it is.
everywhere. Like when I
Fearlessness.
think of opportunity, it means to me everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere, but like, are you prepared? Or, you know,
I
like,
feel like also too, like I don't know if I'm speaking for you, but like everyone that's trying to make something happen or that's an outlier with whatever they're trying to do, something made them who they are. Like some type of
What
adversity.
made you? Yeah, what made
What-
you? Like, what was that ticking
Was there
point?
something like I feel like it's like a diamond in the rock, you know? Like
Or-
I mean, what is it? A rock in the diamond? How does that go?
Or how
diamond
did
in
you
the rough.
know like that you wanted to do music?
You know,
When did
like-
it all start?
Yeah.
I'm 24. I didn't really start making music until 20. I didn't. Once again, I was in school. I was always like writing shit into my phone, but even before that, I feel like one of the main things for me has always just been my mom. My mom wakes up before me, goes to sleep after me, eats less meals than me. She's like she's almost like 56. Yeah. My dad got my parents divorced. He started a new family. My mom took care of 4 kids on her own
Wow.
and traveled through the social economic thresholds to middle class. And like me seeing that and me being forced, like my mom was a nurse, so she worked 12-hour shifts. It was just a situation where like, okay,
Were you a latchkey kid?
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like I had to like take care of myself early on.
Yeah.
So like, of course, like my upbringing was through a culmination of different families and me like meeting these friends and like picking up on, okay, this is how, like I had to take the best from everyone. So I had to steal like from people like, oh, this is okay. This is how y'all do it. And like, but most importantly, like my mom taking care of 4 other mouths, me being the youngest, and then helping other families while maintaining her own health, which she does a poor job of, made me be like, yo, I gotta get it. Like I'm tired of seeing this woman work. She owns her own businesses. She owns 2 houses. And it's just like, bro, like you too old. And like that's one of the driving forces behind what I'm trying to do. And that's why I feel like things can't come soon enough, because I'm tired of seeing that woman on her feet. That's probably one of the biggest sources of inspiration is like my mom, who I don't even talk to enough, but like when we talk to each other, it's like it's kind of like it's not like I don't have that type of relationship that y'all probably have with y'all's parents. It's like literally like I played music for my mom for the first time going to Chicago when I was driving myself to the airport, but she had to drive the car back. And she was like, okay. She was like, but why are you cussing? And it was like she started realizing, yeah, oh, okay, this thing that you almost dropped out of school for is like actually good. She doesn't listen to rap. Like she doesn't even care that I make music. She just wants to see me successful and happy. And I just want to like acquire enough success to like retire her. So that's one of the biggest things for me. It's like growing up and seeing someone like literally go from a single mom to still single mom, but like kids with kids and like things to show for like her efforts. Like I've really seen efforts be returned, and like she's a strong believer in Jesus Christ, and like that's why I like, for me, once again I say I steal from people. So it's like, okay, like if that worked for her, that's gonna work for me. And just her perseverance is like is the biggest thing that I've taken away from my mom, is that. So I feel like that might be the biggest difference between like me and someone else, is like, yo, I got someone in Dallas that I'm trying to see like live her next 20 years better than her last 60. So that's one of the biggest things for me that I don't even get to talk about that much, because it's on my mind, but it's like I don't bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like that picture in your wallet.
That's as real as it gets. So that's as real as it gets.
Yeah.
Picture in your wallet.
The love for your family and
Yeah.
the things you got to do from that. That's as real as it gets for her.
Yeah.
Because she loves you. And that's why she does what she does.
Facts. And And I just think about what was I about to say? Damn, what was I about to say? Yeah, it's just one of those things where you don't want to stop until you see them happy. Like, and the reason I could have went to school. I remember what I was about to say. I could have went to school, got the best type of like boring job as possible. But it's like I want to like do everything in style. You don't want to just win the race. You want to do the Usain Bolt and like taunt before you cross the line. You want to do the hotline bling. You want to do it all in style. So that's why I'm going a longer road than just conventional getting a job with Dell type shit. So that's one thing. Like, I want to do all these things for like my family and my friends, but at the same time I want to sauce it up and be happy.
Sauce it up.
Like, I don't want to be like, not to linger on, but like when I walked into that Red Run party, it's like, this is the only time y'all motherfuckers get to turn up, right? I want to be able to turn up every day. Yeah. Whether it's turning up at a photo shoot, podcast, performance, I want to turn up every day because I have that right. And that's all it is to me.
And nothing's guaranteed, so you got to enjoy it.
Every day.
Every day.
I'm trying to be like Russell Westbrook with it every single day. I want to look like I'm like, wow, why is this guy going so hard? Because you don't know when it's going to end.
Yeah.
Real.
And to end this, it was a beautiful conversation and a lot of really good key points were brought up. What we want to know, like, what are you listening to? What's your favorite song at the current moment?
Ooh, you know, I haven't been listening to music lately because it's like either I'm rehearsing or trying to finish the song. But Slide, Calvin Harris, Frank Ocean, Migos.
Yes.
Dog, like, it pisses me off, like, how, like, good, like, right when that song started, I was like, ooh. And that's all it was, like.
That's all it was.
That's all it was. That's my favorite song right now.
And something that you always draw inspiration from. Like, that one thing that you were like.
Instagram. Instagram. Everything. Like, that save button, crazy. If you're not using the save button.
I barely started using it. I barely found out.
You sleep.
I'm like, I was pissed off they took off the geo map, though. I thought that was so cool.
I love
how
the
you
geo
could
map.
see, you could see where everyone's been. I was like, damn. They took it off completely.
I'm sure, like, women were being stalked.
Yeah, true. Oh, yeah,
Amen.
right.
What's your at names?
At names. Omenihu, OMENIHU. That's how you find me. You can find the company Human Influence at influencehumans.com or at Human Influence. Catch it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
And people they have to check out the All Vibes Matter music video.
Yeah.
And we'll play
That
some at
video
the
is
end.
super cool.
Yeah, well, what's that? Is that on YouTube or Vimeo?
Yeah,
or?
YouTube.
YouTube, SoundCloud. There's a Janet Jackson sample, so I can't put it on Spotify. Please don't sue me. Like, catch me on those platforms, on those pro bono platforms. More music's coming. If you ever see me perform, you know I have more music.
Yeah.
But yeah, most importantly, like thank y'all.
No, thank you.
Hey, no, thank you for coming, bro.
Yeah, thanks for coming out,
Sure.
man.
I woke up late because the clock went forward. Like I was so salty.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
That's what it was, Kanye.
Yeah.
Y'all
That's why
wondering
we're
why y'all
tired. Yeah.
Yeah, last night it was like 2, and I looked at my phone, it was 3. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that
I
makes
blinked.
sense.
Yeah, shout out to iPhones for changing your time for you.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, like this, like I'm grateful that y'all allowed this opportunity to still happen. And
Yeah, man.
Here to
and-
many more. Next time you come in,
all vibes back. Now we got Slide playing too.
But yeah,
Who's playing both songs? Hey, but yeah, my name is Omenihu. Hopefully y'all find me somewhere when if any of y'all listening to this podcast see me, say what's up.
Yeah.
I'm out here.
Thank you
Sounds
for
good.
coming. This was APC Chats. Peace.